What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and tonight I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and review on the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2020 and 2021. When it comes to the WWE, it's all about, it's not just about focusing on the past, reminiscing in the past, but it's also focusing on the future as well, the future WWE superstars, obviously with, now we have, the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, we got NXT, we got the Performance Center in, in the UK, and of course, too, NXT UK as well. But these individuals, as far as the 2020 and the 2021 inductees, they paved the way for the superstars of today. And we're going to kick things off with the 2020 class, starting with JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, a guy who started in WWE in, I would say, the mid 90s as part of a tag team known as the New Blackjacks, and then transitioning over, teaming up with Ron Simmons or Farouk as part of the Acolytes, a part of the Ministry of Darkness, now and then of course the APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency, and then transitioning into being a singles competitor, being WWE champion, being a US champion, being a intercontinental champion, and being a business mogul, if you will. And it's crazy because JBL was one of those guys who not just paved the way for a guy like John Cena to move forward with his career, but he also did the exact same thing with guys like MVP and Bobby Lashley. So to see JBL get his rightful place into the Hall of Fame, well deserved. I know that I'm sure that there's gonna be some people out there who are gonna comment on this video saying, "Oh, Bradshaw doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame." Here's the thing, JBL, well deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm truly, it's crazy because if you guys remember, if you guys saw the Hall of Fame, which obviously you streamed live on Peacock, here in the US and the WWE network everywhere else, he said that he apologized to no one because he was, a wrestling guy and whatnot. That was just, too perfect. That was, way too perfect, way too fucking hilarious. You can't go wrong with that. So congrats to JBL on his induction. But of course, we also have the British Bulldog as well, who, if I remember correctly, I'm actually going to look it up online. Give me 1 second. If I remember correctly, I think he passed away a number of years ago. Let's take a look. British Bulldog. Let's see. That's right. I remember. Yeah, so he passed away on May 18th, 2002. And let's actually take a look at what happened. Okay, yeah. So it was obviously from a heart attack while he was on vacation in British Columbia. With family, and he was only 39, so it was yeah, so as far as the person who inducted him, or I guess accepted the or I guess rather accepted the induction, it was his widow Diana Hart, who obviously they got married back in 84, and they got divorced in 2000. His kids, if I remember correctly, David Hart Smith, or Davey Boy Smith Jr., or I guess Harry Smith was his real name, and of course too, Georgia Smith as well, were the ones that accepted the honor. Bulldog was one of those guys, who was such an inspiration to everybody around him that he was considered one of the most beloved superstars in all of WWE back in, not just back in the golden era, where he had like Hogan and, and Andre and Savage, but also going into the new generation era where you had guys like Bret Hart and Owen Hart and Shawn Michaels and Triple H, going into the Attitude Era, where you had Rock and Austin and whatnot, moving into like into the 2000s where he left WWE, and then of course in 2002, obviously we all know what happened. But for his accomplishments, he's had quite the interesting resume. Obviously, he was a part of a promotion called All Japan Pro Wrestling. Had won a Battle Royal in 1989. World's Strongest Tag Determination League Fighting Spirit Award. League and of course the League Skills Award as well, both times with the Dynamite Kid. Got inducted into the Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame, both individually and as part of the Hart family. Former IWA heavyweight champion. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, named him, gave him an award for Match of the Year with Bret Hart at SummerSlam in '92. Ranked number 15 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in '93. The top 50, actually ranked number 53 in 2003, and ranked number 5 and 84 of the top 100 tag teams with the Dynamite Kid and Owen Hart respectively in 2003. Former Stampede Tag Team Champion, Mid Heavyweight Champion, International Tag Team Champion, North American Champion, Stampede Hall of Fame. He's done it all. In WWE, he's a 2-time European champion, a former Intercontinental champion, 2-time Hardcore champion, 2-time Tag Team champion, again with Owen Hart and the Dynamite Kid. Can't speak. Battle Royal at the Albert Hall. Won the European Championship Tournament. World Tag Team Championship Tournament with Owen Hart, and of course, Hall of Fame. This was something that a lot of people actually wanted to see, and for those who don't know, there was a petition a number of years ago. Actually, there was a petition for the British Bulldog to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And if I remember right, I believe I was one of those guys who signed the petition. So to see Davey Boy Smith finally get his induction, absolutely amazing. I love it. It's incredible. Bulldog was such an inspiration to the WWE universe. It was incredible. And then of course too, we also have Jushin Thunder Liger, such a incredible superstar, not just in Japan but also in WCW. Competed, actually his first and only takeover match was against Tyler Breeze at TakeOver Brooklyn, the first takeover outside of Full Sail, which took place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Hell of an athlete, one of the most unique cruiserweights in all of professional wrestling. I believe they said that he had won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, 11 times? And held it for over 600 days, which is incredible. So, again, seeing him being inducted to the Hall of Fame, I think was incredible. I'm sure that Tyler Breeze would agree that that Liger's induction was pretty well deserved, but I have to admit, his time in WWE was pretty short. Obviously, he was a part of NXT for a few months, but it may have been short, but it was pretty well deserved. It was pretty incredible, I will say. And then of course too, William Shatner as part of the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. He's had so many incredible moments, in WWE on Raw, being a part of the King's Court team, citing, being in the corner of Bret Hart, guest hosting Raw, doing that theme song impersonation album that he did. That was actually pretty funny, I have to admit. But William Shatner, hell of a guy. He was the guy that actually inducted Jerry the King Lawler into the 2007 Hall of Fame, which was pretty incredible. It's kind of interesting in my opinion, because William Shatner is such a unique guy. Having been playing Captain Kirk in the original Star Trek series. I think Oh, what's his name? I cannot think. I can't think of his name. Um. Oh, I can't think of his name. I cannot think of his name. Um. I honestly can't think of his name. Oh my god, the guy that played Charles Xavier in the X-Men series. I can't think of it right now. Um. I can't think of it. I can't not think of it. I swear, it's literally on the top of my head. It's like right. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't like think of it right now. I'll probably end up like I'll probably end up Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart. There it is. It took me a second. Patrick Stewart. Now, and Patrick Stewart, took over the Star Trek series for a while. But for William Shatner to get inducted, I think I think it's awesome. Personally, I feel like there could have been other comedians, other celebrities that could have been inducted into the Hall of Fame for 2020. But William Shatner, I think it was pretty cool. And then of course the Bella Twins. I know that some people are going to comment on this video, saying that oh, the Bellas didn't deserve to be inducted to the Hall of Fame because of how they got in. And honestly, here's the thing: no matter what the haters say about the Bellas, they dominated the women's division with an iron fist since they debuted in like around 2008, 2009, and funny enough, the I believe Nikki Bella became a multi-time Divas champion. Brie Bella only held the title one time, but for them to be inducted is incredible, given the fact that they have broken down barriers. Brie Bella was the one that started both the Bellas started the hashtag Give Divas a Chance on Twitter, on all other forms of social media. And that's what sparked the Divas Revolution. Nowadays turned into the women's evolution, seeing Sasha Banks, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, Kaylee Ray, Piper Niven, Ginny, to break down those barriers even more. Bella Twins earned it. They earned it 100%. Despite what people say about the Bellas and how they got in, they earned it 100%. And then of course to the Warrior Award. This award is based off of how much you contributed to your community, to your to the WWE, your sacrifices and all that. This year's recipient, or I guess rather last year's recipient for the 2020 class, was none other than Titus O'Neil, given with how much he's contributed to Make-A-Wish and all that. It's well deserved. Personally, though, I think when you think about it, I think Shad Gaspard probably should have been the one to get this award, given the fact that the 2021 award, which I'll talk about here in a second, was given to Rich Herring, who is a lifelong member of the WWE family. I think that, again, it's just my opinion anyway. But but to see, I think Shad Gaspard should have got inducted because of what he did, and that was sacrifice his own life to save his own son from drowning. That right there was so incredible. I mean, obviously too, his passing was hard, but for Gaspard to save his son like that, deserves to be a recipient of the Warrior Award. But for Titus O'Neil, he earned it, man. I'm being real. Titus O'Neil earned it big time. with everything that he's done outside of the WWE, we don't see him compete in the ring all that much anymore. But it's only because he's on his phone, he's on his laptop, computer and whatnot, working his ass off, giving back to his community, giving back to the WWE universe. Titus O'Neil earned it. And then, of course, too, the NWO, the guys that literally changed the complexion of professional wrestling during the Attitude Era, during the Monday Night Wars. I'm not saying anything about them except that they fucking earned it. They earned it. They needed it. And this actually makes all four of those guys two-time Hall of Famers, actually, which is pretty cool. But we do have to shout out the 2020 Legacy Hall of Famers. So we have Ray the Crippler Stevens, Brickhouse Brown, Dr. Death Steve Williams, one of the most unique superstars in professional wrestling, Baron Michelle Leone, and then of course Gary Hart. Now for the 2021 class, starting with the whole fucking show, Rob Van Dam. Yes, I did say whole fucking show because that's what he was known as in ECW. RVD. I remember the first time I saw Rob Van Dam compete live. It was actually at the Rebel Bank Arena in Bakersfield here in Bakersfield here in California. I believe it was on an episode of SmackDown. Actually, I think it was August 23rd, 2013, if I remember right. It was interesting because RVD was a part of, had aligned himself with Ricardo Rodriguez. He was in this rivalry with Alberto Del Rio. Getting to see RVD compete, it was incredible. It was incredible. I was such a big fan of RVD. Even when I first started watching WWE back in 2005, I remember hearing the stories of RVD, having him unite the Intercontinental title, the Hardcore title, and the European title together. It was incredible. To see RVD be inducted, I'm honestly happy for him. And then of course you want to talk about pure, you want to talk about someone truly deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. Molly Holly, baby. Yes, Molly Holly getting inducted. She broke down barriers for those who were insecure of their own personality, who were insecure of themselves. And I can't say anything more about it except that she earned it. She earned it. And of course, too, you've got the Great Khali, who broke down barriers for Indian wrestlers, for Indian wrestlers. I think he became the first Indian WWE champ, or I guess World Heavyweight Champion to be technically accurate. But but now obviously we have so many Indian superstars nowadays. You have Indusher, you've got Kavita Devi. You've got the Bollywood Boys over on 205 Live. You've got Jinder Mahal, who's a former WWE champion. So many others. And then, of course, too, you also have the newer superstars who are part of the WWE Superstar Spectacle show a number of months ago, which, honestly, that was an incredible show. If you guys did not watch it, you need to watch it. I believe you can stream it on Peacock. You might be able to. I'm not so sure. You guys can check. But to see Khali get inducted into the Hall of Fame with everything that he's done in WWE, dominating SmackDown with Iron Fist as world champion, having the whole Khali kiss cam and whatnot, it was incredible. I think if I had to have a favorite of the Great Khali, I would have to say the Khali kiss cam. That would probably be my most favorite moment of his. But my favorite match involving him, hands down, has to be the first time I saw him live. It was at SummerSlam in 2009, August 23rd, the Staples Center here in LA. He and Kane, who got inducted as well, and I'll talk about him in a second. They tore the house down. It was an incredible matchup. But of course, too, that wouldn't be the first time that they fought against each other. So, yeah. So Khali, well deserved. Of course, now the celebrity wing. You got Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, the Prince of Rock. A hell of a dude. He was a part of WrestleMania 2, you know, siding with the British Bulldogs when they became tag team champions. Fast forward many years later, his music was, had become, official theme songs for so many pay-per-views over the years, Backlash and Judgment Day and whatnot. Not only that, but he even performed on SmackDown at one time, and he was also a guest host for Monday Night Raw alongside his wife, Sharon Osbourne. And for him to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was incredible. And he even said it, during his speech. He didn't, he didn't deserve it, but he ended up accepting it anyway. So, will we ever see his music become theme song? The official themes for future pay-per-views? Absolutely, absolutely. I would love for that to happen. So, congrats to Ozzy Osbourne. And then, of course, now Eric Bischoff, one of the most controversial bastards in all, not just in the WWE, but just in all of sports entertainment. Whether it was a broadcaster, a producer, or even as a general manager, he broke down barriers for so much crazy shit. He was even the guy that created the Elimination Chamber, one of the most brutal matches in all of WWE. Not only that, but he also created the wheel, the match wheel where you spin the wheel, whatever it lands on, that's the stipulation. Whether it was like bra and panty match, steel cage, ladder match, TLC, whatever, it was on that wheel. Eric Bischoff created it, but one of the most notable moments that I remember involving Bischoff, I remember in 2005, and I remember hearing the story about it. I remember Chris Jericho came up with the idea of the Money in the Bank ladder match because there were 6 men who were trying to get a shot, at the World Heavyweight Championship, when it was on Raw, and Bischoff was and Jericho was like, what if we had 6 men with the briefcase dangling, winner whoever grabs the briefcase can cash in for a title shot. Bischoff was like, you know what, I love it, let's go. Excuse me. So that match came about, and now the Money in the Bank ladder match has become a staple, for WWE and for years to come. So Bischoff being inducted, I think, was the right move. But when I think about controversy, when you think about controversy in WWE, you have to think about, obviously the Montreal Screwjob, the infamous Philadelphia Screwjob involving Heyman, Big Show, and of course RVD. So many moments, but Eric Bischoff, nobody knows controversy better than Eric Bischoff. He earned it. And then, of course, again, the Warrior Award, Rich Herring. He had been a part of the WWE for 51 years, and he's still going strong. The dude's still going strong. But again, I feel like as if Shaq Gaspar should have earned this award. But we may end up seeing it next year. I've been hearing some rumors on social media that might happen, but we will see. But Rich Herring earned it. And then, of course, the last induction, the Devil's Favorite Demon, Kane, a 3-time world champion, multi-time Intercontinental Champion, 12-time Tag Team Champion, Money in the Bank winner. There's nothing that Kane can't do, and he had mentioned about, his rivalry and his partnership, with Paul Bearer and, of course, The Undertaker. I'm not saying anything more about Kane except that he fucking earned it. So, I mean, now the question is, Paul Bearer is, got inducted back in 2013. Kane got inducted in 21. What about next year in Dallas? Could we see The Undertaker get inducted there? Only time will tell. But also I almost forgot the 2021 Legacy class. We have Dick the Bruiser, Pez Whatley, Buzz Sawyer, Ethel Johnson, and Paul Bosch. I completely just butchered that name, but yeah. So those are the Legacy members. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day: what are your guys' thoughts on the 2020 class and the 2021 class, and who do you think should have been inducted into these classes instead? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, I will accept any and all fan mail. My address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.